Malawi, the warm heart of Africa, filled with beautiful, hardworking people with warm and friendly smiles. Malawi has endless untapped resources, one of the largest freshwater lakes in the world, home to over 1,000 fish species, and a special holiday destination. With vastly untapped mineral resources beneath its soil, Malawi is primed to bear fruits that could transform the nation. In recent years, Malawi has become a hotspot for mineral exploration, production of uranium and coal plus prospects in oil, gas, forestry, and fishery industries. The exploration and exploitation of these minerals provides a ray of hope in our efforts to diversify the country's agricultural-based economy. Though there has been extraction in the past, many Malawians do not know how they or the nation have benefited. For the extractive industry to have tangible benefits on Malawians and Malawi as a whole, several issues need to be addressed. There are important questions that have to be answered, such as, have Malawians been trained to work in the mining sector? Have Malawian businesses developed to provide services and goods to the mining companies? Have communities benefited from mining projects in their area? Have the products of mines been used in other sectors of the economy? Has there been improved infrastructure as a result of the mining projects? What money has the government received from the mining companies? The potential of discovering more mineral reserves and more mining projects means we need better oversight of how Malawians' resources are being utilized. Because of this, the civil society in Malawi has been advocating for improved transparency and accountability in the sector since the early 2000s.
As far as I remember, our engagement in lobbying for Malawi to adopt EITI was in 2006. And that was just at the beginning of the debate around a particular uranium mining project that the country had decided to venture into through an Australian mining company. Our argument then was that the process, one of granting the mining license, wasn't transparent. And secondary was that there was no transparency around the kind of revenue that was coming from the mining sector, from that particular mining project. So our thinking was that if we would have EITI would be able to address the issue around how much money comes from that particular mining project into a government account. So the issue of revenue transparency around that particular mining project translated into what I call today EITI.
Mr. Speaker, sir, government also ensure that in future, mining contracts are properly negotiated to maximum benefits for the country. In this regard, government will establish an independent contract negotiating unit in extractive resources. Further, we would subscribe to the Extractive Industry Transparent Initiative.
The Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, EITI standard, aims to improve the oversight of the sector from the start of the mining project to its completion. At its heart, it is a reporting process through which mining companies report what they have paid to the government. In return, government report what has been received from the extractive or mining companies, and the two are reconciled and published in a report. The process provides the public with a greater understanding of the money received by the government from the extractive industries. Citizens can use this evidence to ask, where is the money going? What projects or sectors are benefiting from this finance? Who is deciding how the money is spent or saved? Who is benefiting? Are we getting enough for our resources? When government and companies report different figures, this will lead to investigation and improvement of systems. To become an EITI compliant country, a country must have a functional multi-stakeholder group which determines how its EITI process should work. The government revenues and company payments are disclosed and independently assessed in an EITI report. These findings are communicated to create public awareness and the debate on how a country should manage their resources better.
In 2014, when the president announced that Malawi was going to join the EITI, one of the next steps was that a multi-stakeholder group needed to be formed. This multi-stakeholder group guides the entire implementation of EITI, sets the agenda, the objectives, the scope, which companies to be included, which minerals or forests or oil and gas, what should be included, and also communicates with the public. And this multi-stakeholder group is made up of government institutions, the private sector, so in this case mining companies, and civil society. And we are meant to work together with consensus to implement EITI. Our first Moiti report is due in April 2017, and at the moment as an MSG we're discussing exactly this question: what should be in the first report? Should it only be minerals? Is it going to include oil and gas and forestry? And every single report has a contextual background which provides an overview of the sector, which companies are operating, what licenses have been issued. So from civil society, we hope to see that mining, oil and gas and forestry is included in this section of the report.
So in the past, up to present I mean as last year, there hasn't been any platform where revenue from the mining industry is subjected to scrutiny by different stakeholders, by the government, by CSOs, by the industry, where people sit on the table and saying, you know what, you as a mining company, how much money do you pay to the government? So the mining company says how much they pay to the government, and then we as a society can say, okay, fine. Is that how much you receive as government? Yes. Where did that money go? Which account did the money go to? So that has been the case with EITI, which what we want to be the case with EITI. But that has not happened in the past. So the case in the past has been money is paid to the government, nobody asks the questions. Now there's an opportunity through EITI as a platform to now start asking the questions. Was the money paid according to what you signed in the agreement, in the contract first? Okay, how much is it paid? Where did the money go? The money from the mining sector, oil and gas, contributing to budget support that translates into social service delivery at a district level to somebody who is living in a rural area. Not just to me who is living in urban areas, but are people in rural areas being able to benefit because the mining industry has contributed to addressing the needs that they have. That, for us, is a big hope, because we know that if that money translates into people at the district level, then the lives of Malawians will change.
Malawi has a national secretariat for the EITI operations, which provides support to the multi-stakeholder group. The secretariat is based in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Development in the Revenue Policy Divisions. And the minister responsible for the finance is Malawi's current EITI champion.
This is really an exciting era for Malawi because we are embracing the EITI process at a time when the mining sector is developing, and we have lessons to learn, especially from our neighbors like Zambia, Tanzania, who have already embraced the EITI process, and the mining sector is already developed, and they have had experiences with community engagement, the civil society. So really, we are coming at a very exciting time, and we want to build a very good relationship between the communities, the private sector, and the civil society.
Having applied to join the EITI in July 2015, Malawi received approval of the EITI candidature in October 2015. At this stage, Malawi has to make sure it will make information public about its extractive industries. Malawi has 18 months to publish its first EITI report. This report, once published, will act as a benchmark for good governance, reforms in managing natural resources in the country.
We have supported or started to support the process since 2011, when the first time the question arose whether Malawi should join the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. And we supported that process back then in forming an opinion whether it would be advantageous for the country or not, because we thought it should be a really kind of a decision of all stakeholders based on mutual information about what the process is. And we've been there since back then and seen the idea develop, people discussing it, until the statement that came from the president that Malawi should join the Extractive Industries Transparency. And now we feel that having come so far, this is now where the real work starts. Where from the decision we have to ensure that the processes are adhered to and we reach the impact that we like to. So GIZ has given full support to the formation of the working group, and we now see the work plan to be started to be implemented, and that gives us great joy and hope, because there's a lot of dynamics in the work. People enjoy coming together, and we see that there's things changing on the ground, and that's for sure a reason to stay on with it and continue with the support.
As an EITI candidate, Malawi as a country has to adhere the following EITI requirements: effective oversight by the multi-stakeholder group, timely publication of EITI reports that include contextual information about the extractive industries, the production of comprehensive EITI reports that include full government disclosure of extractive industry revenues and disclosure of all material payments to the government by oil, gas, and mining companies. A credible assurance process applying international standards. EITI reports that are comprehensible, actively promoted, publicly accessible, and contribute to the public debate. The multi-stakeholder group to take steps to act on lessons learned and reviewed that outcomes and impact of EITI implementation.
Everybody is going to benefit. To be a win-win situation for the government through revenue from for the communities who benefit from that when government be using that revenue, and also to the investors as well. They'll be able to ensure that they accrue whatever is supposed to accrue to them. I would like to appreciate, only commend the decision that the state, His Excellency, the State President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, made in his first State of the Nation address, where he indicated Malawi, his intention that Malawi should join EITI. We are here today discussing this because of that decision.
Almost 9 years after advocating for adoption of the EITI, Malawi has a functional EITI framework to ensure that the natural resources contribute to a broad-based, sustainable socio-economic development. Malawians have a reason to smile. Big changes are on the horizon. Thank you. Zigom. Yeo.